It's either that vehicle or it's another one going there. Maybe they're looking for somebody. That's the other thing. It kind of makes sense. Or some crime was committed. Somebody ran away or something. He stopped over there. I don't know who picks it up here, but he's across the way there by that white house. That's yeah. There's some guy in all black stuff there. Okay, I guess they got their target. Yeah, that's all that is. It's about he's in all black like it's a gang stalker. They're in between the two of them. And he stopped and put his hands up. It's interesting that they didn't immediately put him in cuffs. You think that they were out to kind of find him. Thinking because, he either had on all black or he has I think he's all black. That's how it looks like from here. So he's dressed like a typical gang stalker. That part's interesting. Yeah, the state has a certain way of kind of. There's another dude, I don't know if you've seen him there. He's got a green jacket on. I guess he's like a city worker, so it's hard to say what that guy's job is. He's got one of those kind of vests on, those yellow green vests. He's talking to him about some, maybe he works for construction and he called it in or something. I don't know. What's interesting is I can't quite tell. There don't seem to be. I thought he had some kind of backpack on or something. It was hard to say, but I don't think he does. I was wondering why they didn't have him hand over the backpack right away, right? It was interesting because as I saw him walk, I got this kind of feeling about that guy. I'm like, hey, they're there for that guy. And lo and behold, he kind of surrounded him. They parked on each side of him and they approached him. Another thing that's interesting is that the guy kind of kept putting his hand behind his back, like they were instructing him to. kind of conflicted about using too much memory on my phone. So I don't think this is that significant, you know. I think it's kind of a coincidence, right? That these people ended up like straight across from me, right? You know, it's almost like directly across from me is where they ended up stopping him. He's wearing black, and I've seen things like this during gang stalking. He's dressed in all black like a gang stalker, right? Like a typical, stereotypical, you know, they're not always wearing black. Police officer did put his head up, you know, one of these guys, after he kind of looked at me, right? And that, you know, you think, hey, you know, what the hell are they telling these guys to commit a crime? And it suggests that these people are hooked to a machine. Look, and I've said this before, and there's people who think it sounds crazy or something, but it's just a logical assumption. I don't know what exactly leads up to these sorts of events, but they're hooked to a machine and they're controlling their like subconscious mind and directing them to commit a crime in a certain way. And it's very alarming, right? And then it all comes together, and they're directing people in a certain way that causes people to then end there. And we see with the way they control animals, right? That the birds that crap on my car, for instance, they cause them to move in a certain way and to think in a certain way to cause that event to occur at a certain time. So they're coordinating life forms and coordinating these events. Okay, so I guess the person did have on a backpacker, so I guess they just cut him loose. Maybe they're looking for some kind of suspect, and this guy fit the description. Yeah, it was James. Okay, yeah. Maybe it was just a gang stalking operation. I guess he didn't perhaps commit a crime, and they just did some kind of street theater that is foreshadowing, right? Shadow psychology, we're having chaos magic. There's some kind of I forgot, man. You know, I released this video about people who do black magic not long before. In fact, I'm gonna release this afterwards. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, as I'm saying this, you know, there's a lot of these guys these days who, you know, like that vehicle over there, tinted cars, you know, all over the place, right? And those black, dark wheels, black rims, they're very popular, what have you. That guy has a black American flag on the back of his window in a certain way that suggests that he spent a little bit of money on it. Law enforcement still parked over there in that kind of way. And there's a black vehicle in between them by that White House and like a brown fence over there, as opposed to that white fence right in front of the White House. And there's a building over there. I think it's like, yeah, it's a church, and it's kind of interesting architecture in front of it. So first, you know, because I made the video, I think I'm going to go ahead and because I made it private. I think that it's allowed by the YouTube rules and so on. I had to kind of, you know, put it on private because I was like, man, you know, a lot of people are going to take this the wrong way or something. I felt like maybe it's not the time to show my anger on that issue at least. And so I put it on private, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take it off so that you can see that video was, it's posted already right now. Okay, I'll probably put a timestamp. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take a picture of the first police moment. So you can see that occurs, the timestamp occurs after the video about the black magic people. Okay. Real quickly here, you know, that second police vehicle had briefly turned on his lights before he flipped a U-turn behind the first one. I'm not quite sure why that is. Maybe he accidentally clicked it. That's probably what it was. But I think maybe they're just trying to say that they're still in the process of looking for some suspect. Look at this, three black cars in a row over there, the tinted, and I made videos about this before, right? The pattern of vehicles going back to the pattern of birds. What causes this to occur? It's almost as if, and I don't quite think this is the case, but it's almost like everybody all the time is hooked to a supercomputer from the products in the air and the food. Okay. Really briefly, I want to say that some people might think that sounds crazy, but recently in the news, right, the Stargate, the Microsoft, the MGX, the SoftBank, okay, these companies, if one of them is called Stargate, it's called the Stargate program, but these other companies, they came together and are investing $500 billion in AI, okay, and what they call super intelligent AI, I believe it was called, or something like that, right? Instead of artificial intelligence, artificial super intelligence, I believe it was called. I just saw it with the Trump video I was watching. I was actually interrupted in that video with this series of events, which caused me to stop watching that video and start recording this series of events. Believe it or not, it's pretty rare that I see people walk by in this area with a backpack, and I come here a lot. And lo and behold, this female with the backpack is not the same person.